JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, son held after U.S. mother stabbed to death in St. Andrew. A 55-year-old U.S. resident was stabbed to death and her 35-year-old son taken into police custody following an incident on Wayville Avenue, Kingston 11 on Monday morning. The dead woman has been identified as Marvell Johnson from Northwest 30th Street in Lauder Lake, Florida. A knife believed to be the murder weapon has been seized by the authorities. The suspect is said to be a mason from Red Hills Road. It was reported that around 7:20 a.m., Johnson, who returned to the island recently from the United States, went to Wayville Avenue to look for relatives and to treat her son. While the now deceased was inside one of the bedrooms, it is alleged that she was attacked with a knife and stabbed multiple times all over her body. Relatives who reportedly heard her crying for help went to her assistance and pulled the suspect away before calling the police. Johnson was assisted to the Kingston Public Hospital, where she was pronounced dead while undergoing treatment. The son was detained following the incident. It is understood that the accused was not cooperating with the police. They believe the man, who some residents say is of unsound mind, was deported to Jamaica. When the police moved her, she looked like she was alive, but doctors had to pronounce her. The youth is our son and my deportee, a resident said. The police said the man in custody refused to answer initially when asked about his relation to the woman. The St. Andrew South Police Division has recorded a 14% reduction in murders year on year. Up to September 30, the division, which led Jamaica in murders for 2 consecutive years, 2020 and 2021, recorded 95 murders, 16 fewer than the corresponding period for the period under review. Up to September 30, a total of 1,038 murders were committed nationally. 2 cousins murdered in Orangefield District, St. Catherine. The 2 men were killed by gunmen in Orangefield District, St. Catherine on Monday evening have been identified as the 34-year-old business operator, Omar Givens, and the 31-year-old watchman at Orangefield Primary School, Dayton Dwyer, otherwise called Corey. The men were reportedly cousins. It is reported that both men were at Givens' shop about 8 p.m. when 4 men drove up in a white understreet motor car and opened fire, hitting them. Residents heard loud explosions and upon checking, saw the bodies of the now deceased. Dwyer was seen lying on his back along the side of the road, clad in a navy blue t-shirt, grey short pants, blue underpants, and a pair of grey and black slippers. Givens, who received multiple gunshot wounds, was seen on his back inside his shop behind the counter, clad in a white t-shirt with multicolored floral designs, black jeans pants, and black socks. Police said 28 spent casings were found while processing the scene. No motive has been established for the attack, the police said. This is the second double murder in the St. Catherine North Police Division in 2 weeks. St. Catherine businessman hospitalized following gun attack. A St. Catherine businessman remains hospitalized after he was shot and injured by unknown assailants along the Spanish Town bypass early this morning. It is reported that about 12:40 a.m., the man was being accompanied by employees to dispose of garbage when they were pounced upon by 2 masked men on a motorcycle. The men brandished guns, but the group ran and boarded their vehicle. The attackers fired several shots, during which the businessman sustained gunshot injuries to his back. He drove himself to hospital where he was admitted. An investigation has been launched by the Spanish Town Police. Driver gets $1 million bail in fatal Clarendon hit and run. Clarendon resident 33-year-old William Bell was on Friday offered $1 million bail in relation to a hit and run that resulted in the death of a 5-year-old boy. Bell, who is charged with causing death by dangerous driving, is to reappear in the parish court at Lioneltown on Monday, December 4. Bell, who's on Bunkers Hill, was charged after he turned himself into the police on Tuesday, October 17. The incident happened on the afternoon of Wednesday, October 11. It is reported that about 3:30 p.m., 5-year-old Damaris Davy of Bunkers Hill in Frankfield was walking along a road with his mother when he was hit by a Toyota Probox motor car that Bell was driving. After the incident, Bell fled the scene. The child was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Jamaican farm worker dies in Canada. A Jamaican farm worker is dead after he was found unresponsive in his room by a co-worker in Ontario, Canada earlier this month, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security said on Tuesday. He has been identified as Daniel Brown, The cause of death is yet to be revealed. Reports are that on October 7, Brown returned home from work, prepared a meal, and went to bed. The ministry in a release said that on the morning of October 8, Jamaica Liaison Services Acting Chief Liaison Officer Althea Riley was contacted that Brown was found unresponsive in his room by a co-worker. The paramedics were immediately called, and upon their arrival, Brown was pronounced dead. According to the ministry, a senior member of his family services unit has visited Brown's next of kin on several occasions following his passing. The ministry has consistently kept the family updated on matters related to Mr. Brown's passing and has shared any new information received by the coroner and other entities in Canada as soon as it is revealed. The ministry has consistently kept the family updated on matters relating to Mr. Brown's passing and has shared any new information received by the coroner and other entities in Canada as soon as it is received, the release stated. Vehicle hastily abandoned with goat inside. The Clarendon police are trying to locate persons who abandoned a Suzuki Vitara motor vehicle with a goat inside following an attempted traffic stop along the racetrack main road in the parish on Tuesday. About 2:45 a.m., officers were patrolling along the racetrack main road when the vehicle was signaled to stop. The driver reportedly ignored the instructions of the lawman and sped away. The police chased, and the occupants ran from the vehicle, leaving the engine running. A search of the vehicle was conducted, and a brown goat was seen in the back. 2 ski masks and a cell phone were also seized, the police said. Anyone with information that could assist the investigation is being asked to call the Mapen Police at 876-986-2208. Man who rammed $35 million Benz through dealership gates to appear in court Wednesday. 31-year-old Nicholas Christopher Thompson, who is accused of engaging in a joyride and crashing a Mercedes-Benz JL53 on the compound of Stewart's Automotive Group on Saturday night, is to appear in the St. Andrew Parish Court on Wednesday. He has been charged with malicious destruction of property. Thompson, someone addressed in Manly Meadows, Kingston 2, gained access to the high-end luxury vehicle, valued at approximately 35 million Jamaican dollars, and crashed through 2 gates of the dealership. Michelle Campbell, Deputy Superintendent of Police and Acting Commanding Officer for the Kingston Central Division, where the establishment is located, said that the accused is suspected to be mentally challenged. I wanted to tell her about murder plot, convicted contract killer testifies. The convicted contract killer in the murder of Portland businesswoman Tonya McDonald yesterday testified that he wanted to tell her about the plot to kill her, but he found it hard to do so. According to him, it was easier to make love to her than to tell her about the murder plot. The married witness, Denverlin Minot, otherwise called Bubler, who previously testified that he had a sexual relationship with the now deceased, told the court he had daily conversations with the woman about where they would link up or ends out for their affair. Minot claimed he and Tonya would often meet at the pier during her lunch period. Pressed by defense attorney Christopher Townsend, Minot said, I take her to my house enough times and I try to tell her but it never work out. After speaking to her every day, only one time I tried to tell her that? Townsend asked. Minot, in answering, agreed with Townsend's suggestions that the words couldn't come out. Townsend then questioned Minot about his early testimony, in which he testified that he and his alleged accomplice Oscar Barnes had traveled to Boston and Portland with Tonya to kill her under the guise that they were going to buy a gun that she wanted to use to avenge her father's death. The lawyer asked the witness why he didn't use the opportunity to tell her about the murder plot after the mission was aborted that day and they were alone in the car. I didn't, but I wanted to, he said. Tonya's husband, Everton Beaches McDonald, and his co-accused Oscar Barnes are currently on trial for the alleged murder of the 32-year-old businesswoman. Minot, who is currently serving 19 years in prison for his role in the murder, testified that Beachy had contracted him in 2020 to kill Tonya for a fee of $3 million, but that he subcontracted the job to Barnes. Under further cross-examination, the convicted murderer told the court that he had offered the entire $3 million to Barnes. Asked how much would have been his cut, he said he did not know. So you take a job to kill somebody who you're having a relationship with, and you don't know how much you then get? Townsend asked, to which Minot said yes. So you plan to kill the lady for no reason? Townsend asked. It was some money, Minot replied. But you're giving away your cut? Townsend asked. I saw I figure it couldn't be any other way, Minot replied. Asked to explain his response, he told the court that it would have been wrong for him to collect money to do something that he did not want to do. He also accepted that it was equally wrong to have hired persons to kill Tonya and to make repeated attempts to murder her. The witness previously testified that he had lured Tonya to her death and watched as Barnes stabbed her repeatedly. The woman's partially burnt body was found with her throat slashed in her car, which had been set ablaze, along a deserted road in Sherwood Forest in Portland on July 20, 2020. Vaz dismisses Golding's call to remove hedge fund gas tax. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has wrongly rejected as fiscal indiscipline suggestions from opposition leader Mark Golding to remove the hedge fund gas tax and cap the special consumption tax (SCT) on fuel amid blinding inflation, labeling him a political despot. Vaz said Golding's proposal, which he likened to economic policies of the 1990s, is an attempt to score cheap political points. Golding, while at a People's National Party PNP rally in St. Mary on Sunday, slammed the government for the economic hardship facing some Jamaicans, pointing to the 35% fare increase for transport operators. The twofold increase saw fares going up by 19% on October 15. This will increase by a further 15% in April next year. We have a government that, after 2 years of wicked inflation coming out of COVID, what them do? Them rise up the taxi and bus on the people, Golding told PNP supporters. He said that while it was evident that transport operators needed an increase, the government failed to find a creative way to ease the economic pressure facing Jamaicans. Golding said Jamaicans, especially in rural areas, are struggling with increasing cost of living, with many parents unable to send their children to school. But they don't remove the hedge fund tax and use that to subsidize rural public transportation. Why don't they cap the SCT tax on fuel and use the surplus to protect the consumer, the commuter, the person using public transport? He questioned. The controversial gas tax of $7 a litre was introduced in 2015 as a cushion against sharp increases in world oil prices above $8 a barrel. The government collects approximately $7 billion annually from this hedge fund tax, though it has not been used for the intended purpose. This government is not thinking creatively in the interest of the people. They are willing to unleash sufferation on the people, and that is why the people want to see change, Golding charged. The PNP president has repeatedly implied that the economy is so tightly wound, but on Monday, Vaz hit back, insisting that Golding was merely seeking to gain power at all costs. He said Golding's proposal is an attempt to pull the country back to the economic policies of the 90s, which he suggested were harmful. Not to mention his downright irresponsible, reckless statements repeatedly on the political platform, said Vaz. He said the increase in fare was done only after a working group was put together to deliberate on it and other pressing issues in the transport sector. Vaz said opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips was part of that group and was fully aware of what was the outcome of fare increase discussions. He noted that the announcement was made in Parliament and said that there was no objection from the parliamentary opposition. Vaz also said it has been a week since the first phase of the increase took effect and that to date, the opposition party has not issued an opposing statement. Now here comes Mark Golding on the political platform, a political despot, likened to the socialist 70s, power at all cost. He said, "We are working assiduously to bring back discipline and order in the transport sector. And instead of commending the Transport Authority and the police for what they have done over the last week, the only thing you can do is try to score cheap political points," Vaz contended. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.